So now I am officially recording, and we're going to go ahead and start with our presentation about Kappa. So the most important attitude that can be formed is that of desire to go on learning. And this is a quote by John Dewey. And I think this really sets the tone for just remembering that, like, as teachers, we're going to be learning forever. It's not something, you're one and done, like that student story that Dr. Parnin was talking about, that he thought he was done at 5th grade, that you go on forever. And even as a teacher, that you're still going to be learning, and you still have that desire to want to learn. And I think that's a big part of Convo. So here is a map of the chapters all around the world of KDP. And this map is actually from the KDP website, and it's an interactive map, so you can scroll in on it and scroll back out. But you can see that in the US we have a ton of chapters, and then of course it's all over the world, so there's different chapters all over that you usually go to Convo and you meet with them and you get to talk to them. So for the professional learning aspect of it, so that's exactly what Convo is. It's all about professional learning. So it's not something that you go to and you can say, oh, this furthered my college education. I think this is something that is really important, not for your college education. It's something important for yourself personally and for your career as a teacher. There's things that you learn at Convo that will help you for your resumes, for teaching on the job. I think there's a lot of professional development, a lot of professional learning that will really stick with you for a long time. And every year Convo is different, so it's a different location, and it's usually in the U.S. And since most of the chapters are in the U.S., and they pick a different city, a different state, and it has a different theme every year. So I know last year when we went, it was the power of you was the whole theme of the whole event. So we saw posters everywhere that kept saying the power of you. And the year before was in Indianapolis, which was designing the future. I didn't go to that one, so Dr. Parnin will hit on that a little bit later. But just the thought process and knowing that it's not always going to be in the same place every year. So when you go to Convo, essentially it's usually a weekend trip, and you're going to have the whole group meetings where everybody comes together and talks, and you'll have different panels that you can go that are for the whole group. And then you'll also have, they call breakout sessions. So essentially it's like workshops, and you have a schedule on your phone, like on the app that you can download when you're there. And they have a million different kinds of breakout sessions you can choose between, and you can choose anything you want. And so I know that there's one on music, and then there was one on, like, I went to one on ELL students and how to show empathy to ELL students. And so there's essentially anything that you think that could be something you want to learn about will probably be in a breakout session. And you sort of pick your own schedule for, like, which ones you want to go to, and then you go to whichever ones you want. So next, Theo, would you mind talking about your experience at the Convo last year?
Yeah, so I went to Convo last year, and you can see there's a picture of me and Josiah. We were in part of the presentation, and so we did a presentation on the Celebrate Autism event, and we made that poster in the room when we got there because we didn't want to bring it on the plane, which was super exciting. I'm sure Josiah can attest to that, because my whole bed, the nice thing about there only being a couple guys was that Josiah and I just had the whole room to ourselves. And my whole bed was covered in washi tape and letters, and teacher design stuff just was on my bed. So we made that poster. It was super fun, great networking. We weren't the only autism event poster actually there, so we got to communicate with some of those people. But I think overall, the connections that I made at Convo were one of the biggest things. I actually went to a meeting last month now, and it was one of the regional KDP meetings for leaders, and I ran into somebody at the Zoom meeting that we knew each other from Convo, because you can go sit at different tables at lunches and stuff. And then you go to events that and the breakout sessions that you're interested in. And so I went to a lot of breakout sessions, and you take some breaks too. You don't have to go consistently all day, but if you want to go, they're scheduled throughout the day. And so I went to one that was about siblings of students with disabilities, one about project-based learning, and another one about universal design of learning and things like that. So you go and you can go through lists based on times and find things that you're interested in. I also went to a, while I was there, I went to a career fair. And at the career fair, I got to meet people from all over the US, and even in China. I met some people from there, and they really emphasized how much good having KDP as an organization and being part of it can do on your resume. A lot of people will recognize that. There were people conducting interviews there. If I wanted to, I probably could have gotten an interview for a job in Alaska, and they were hiring on the spot. Like, different places all over the US were hiring on the spot. The lanyard I'm actually using right now at my teaching position is one from Halifax County Schools, and I'm not sure where that is because I don't remember. I could find my brochure because I still have them in a folder, but you can pick up brochures on places you're interested in, business cards, you can keep those things, you can network, you can go, oh, they list all the benefits of working in that school district. And KDP, it's really shown me through going to this convo that you can choose wherever you want to work in the US through KDP if you go to an event like this, because you network, you get those connections, and you can go far. In addition to that, you get to learn from so many people because standards and college programs vary across the whole US. So it's interesting to compare language that's used regarding different programs. So like I'm studying for K through 12 mild intervention special education. Well, in Florida, they have like degrees specifically in ADHD or in autism, and you get specific certificates in special education depending on what you're studying. And that's probably true for other places too. So it was interesting to hear the different language. And there's us standing in a window because we got to meet up with some people from another KDP group, and we were trying to make the mannequin challenge happen again. So there it is happening. And we went on a scavenger hunt all over Norfolk and other adventures through Norfolk.
Yes. That was pretty funny. So Mara was the next speaker, but Mara unfortunately couldn't be here because she has a class during this time. She did make us a video, and I probably should have had it pulled up right away, but I didn't. So I'm gonna pull it up real quick, but it is on the YouTube account. So if hopefully you can hear it through this. If you can't, it is on the YouTube account, so you can still go back and watch it. But we'll see how this goes.
I'm the fundraising chair of KDP, if you didn't know. But I'm going to be talking to you about Convo today. Sorry I couldn't make it to the actual meeting. I have a class at the time that the meeting is going to be today, but I wanted to share a little bit about Convo with you guys. I'm so upset we don't get to go this year, but it was super fun last year. I highly recommend going when we can actually go again. But my favorite part of Convo was the breakout sessions, which I'm going to talk about. But there's also guest speakers, there's group dinners where you get to meet a bunch of people from different KDPs and different like advisors and stuff like that. And there was even a scavenger hunt.
Kayla, it stopped playing when you muted your mic.
Cover letters. Oops. And I honestly didn't even know you needed a cover letter for your job applications. So that was really helpful. And he was a principal or superintendent of a school district. And he showed us examples of good cover letters, examples of bad cover letters. like told us the length, where like the first paragraph should be this, the second paragraph should be this, all this stuff. Super helpful. I have a notebook full of notes from it. And he even gave us his card so that we could email him our cover letters when we start applying to jobs, and he'll edit them, which is super helpful for me because I'm going into student teaching, so I'll be applying for jobs soon. And I was just blown away by all the choices that they had. There was one about using music in the classroom. There was a STEM one. There was help with math ones. Pretty much anything you ever are interested in learning about. There's a breakout session about it. And yeah, that is my absolute favorite part of Convo. There's usually like 7-ish different choices of the breakout sessions per time slot, and you can choose which one you want to go to, which one is the most helpful. And our group tried to go to all different breakout sessions so that we could just share the info with each other. We weren't all going to the same ones and just getting all the same information. So that was also really cool to hear about other people's experiences in the breakout sessions that they went to. But yeah, that's all I want to talk about. So let me know if you have any questions or anything. You can always email me if you want. And yeah, thanks guys. Bye.
Okay. So that was Mara's experience with Convo, which I think is pretty true. I think resonates with us. And I guess I just want to say too that like it doesn't, you're not like you are in breakout sessions a lot for most of the day, but then like you have like sometimes you have dinner on your own, and like so you get to like, we met up and had dinner together as a group like in Norfolk. So we just went to different places. Like one place we went to is Hell's Kitchen, and we ate and we talked and we got to talk to each other about the breakout sessions. I guess next is me. So I went to Convo last year and I really thoroughly enjoyed it. I think that it surpassed my expectations of what it would be. I guess I didn't really know exactly what it would be because everybody just says, oh, it's breakout sessions, and I didn't know what that meant. And I mean, I think it's as easy as it sounds, but it seemed like it would be more complicated. But it's simple, but it's great because it brings you a lot. And I would highly recommend, because you learn so much and so fast in such a short amount of time. I recommend taking notes when you're there. I took notes. I have a whole notebook on everything I learned, and I took it around with me the whole time to everything. But my favorite part was probably the color blindness panel, which was a whole group session where it was a morning session. And we actually took a picture with the speakers because I really liked them. And I said, let's go take a picture. So we snuck up there really quick and got a picture with them. So there were 4 different speakers, and each were very different, but had something special to bring to the table that I really enjoyed. Dr. Angela Vanello, I don't know how to say her last name because I'm bad at names. I'm sorry. She is the one in the gray sweater. She talked a lot about how caring is the most important part. And she talked a lot about how we should influence, our teaching should be influential by where we are. So like we should be teaching local history, we should be teaching civil rights, our ancestors' history, incorporating that into our lessons, because it will ring true with our students because that's where they're from. And then my favorite speaker, probably of all of them, was Jacqueline I can't say names, I guess. Not today. I'm sorry, guys. Irvine. I think it's Irvine. She is the one with the gold lays on her. It's not lays. It's I know the stoles. Sorry. I'm sorry, guys. It's been a day. She's the one with the gold stoles on. She was my favorite speaker of all of them. She actually wrote a couple books. I bought one of her books because I was a nerd and I really liked her speaking. And I actually used them in some of my stuff, like for classes, like when you have to do like your key assessments. I used some of her research from her book in my key assessments because it was just that good. But anyways, she spoke a lot about how if we're failing to speak, like, what is colorblindness? What is the problem with colorblindness? And she used a lot of research and talked about how the word itself is just essentially offensive, and how we really need to reevaluate ourselves if that's how we're thinking. If we're thinking that we're being colorblind, that we're failing to speak on their race or their culture, then we're ignoring that piece of them, which is a huge piece of someone, is their own culture. And so she was talking about how we need to understand that our culture affects ourselves and it affects other people, and that we need to not be colorblind, because then we're ignoring not only ourselves and other people, but we're not valuing them as people. And so I just thought that was just really, really good speech. I promise she said it better than me. But that was my favorite part. And then Dr. Parnin, I know that you had your own slides. Did you want me to go ahead and not share anymore, so you could pull that up?
Probably.
Okay, I'm gonna unshare for the minute.
Okay, so before I jump into this, I want to just sort of share a couple of a context. So we've been talking about Convo. So Kappa Delta Pi, since it sort of became a National Honor Society back in the day, 1910, they've had what they were called convocations. And these convocations happened every other year. And a convocation is where you have a gathering. So shortened convocation becomes Convo. And so Kappa Delta Pi for many years met every other year to have sort of a convocation where they brought together, and it feels like a national conference. And so for those of you who are coming in that might to Kappa Delta Pi, that will give you a bit of a context for that. And that then our chapter for the past 3 years has attended. I really feel it's important for you all to have an opportunity to go to the national level to experience essentially a national professional conference. And it is available for students, undergrad and graduate students, as well as addressing the developmental from preschool through higher education. And so there are, again, many sessions, breakout, national speakers, and then there's many times where we come together and have usually there's about 1,500-ish people in attendance. So it's a large enough conference to be large, but not too large. It's overwhelming. And so let me speak to those of you who will still be in the chapter next fall. So we're going to be hopeful, one, COVID will be behind us. We will be back face to face. So those assumptions being checked, the student government on campus has set aside part of your fees that you pay as those fees that you pay with your tuition. Some of that money student government has authorization over, and they set aside that for travel. And so we are able, for the past 3 years, we've been able to send students to this Convo. Everything's been paid for: travel, hotel, conference fees, which adds up to about $600 to $700-ish per person. And all of that's paid for through your through this fund at our university, which is highly unusual. Most chapters, most of the students who are attending are paying a lot of their expenses out of pocket. You do have to pay for food, but that's a small expense when you look at the larger things. So I wanted to give a context for all of you where that's at. And maybe, I know we didn't get a chance to sort of introduce each other. So maybe I give you a little bit more overview of some of the things I've seen for the past 3 years, but maybe then we go into breakout rooms and you guys can sort of talk with each other. I'm learning how to do that, which is, every day is a new day with technology. The other thing is that Dr. Cuffey, who is our another one of our chapter counselors, she was supposed to share one of her presentations she gave at the 2018 Convo, but at the last minute she was unable to attend. So So some of this is that I'm probably sharing more information about Convo in a different way. So apologies for those who, but she said she would do her presentation at our next chapter meeting in December. So you'll still be able to experience what one of those workshops or presentations will be like. All right, that's probably a long introduction to share screen, screen 2. And let me do slideshow. Sorry, these days I have to say things out loud to myself. Okay, so our first year that we went to Convo, we went to Pittsburgh, and here's the group of Kappa Delta Pi students.
We can't see your screen, Dr. Parnin.
You can't see my screen. Sorry. I think we all share screen. Oh, I know. I had to click share. Sorry. I know. Long day for all of us. Okay, can you see it now? Okay. We went to Convo first time 2017, Pittsburgh. We got a giant van from the university and drove cross country. That was an adventure in itself. This person right here, Demry, she was moved into being president. And at the time, our president didn't go that time. So we had Amy was vice president, and I know her. And she was our treasurer, and then active members. Oh, and then here, you can tell it's a long day. She'll come to her name will come to me. But she gave a presentation. So we have, Kappa Delta Pi members can submit for either as a chapter or as individuals to do presentations. And so Amber Brettmuller, sorry, it was coming. So Amber gave a presentation at that first conference that we went to, which was really exciting. But you can see how people browse around. So that's one. Let's see, let's move on to the next one. I'm gonna move kind of quickly. Here's still more. Again, usually there's some banquets. So here's a picture of all of us at the closing banquet. That's them having an adventure. I was in a breakout session, and I get this email, I get this little text with this picture. So they had been out exploring the city a little bit, which was, again, a little bit of that is appropriate, not lots, but a little bit is fine. Then when here's 2018, again, you can still see here our chapter is doing a presentation on about meetings and things that we had done. There's Demry and there's Alyssa back there who are part of that. So here is Dr. Cuffey. Here is the presentation that you will experience next at the December chapter meeting. So she's going to be talking about sandwich time and as a technique for giving feedback to your classroom. So, and there were more people at her session. It was actually quite full. This is just before she started. Here we are, one of those, we do have a lot of food and gathering and good times. So once again, we were together waiting for a speaker. Here we are in 2019. Can you see here, since this theme that we do have a good time talking and eating and waiting for speakers. I did want to show you a picture of Alyssa. She is holding right here a ticket. So in addition to all of the professional learning, they have lots and lots of sort of contests. And so her name was drawn, and she won a conference. Essentially, to attend the conference is about $250, and she won for this year. I'm hoping that they will take a rain check on it, but she should be able to attend next year's conference for free because she won a free conference a ticket for next year. So there she is.
Did you win a raffle as well, Dr. Parnin?
Did I win a raffle? I did. I won. So there's a fundraiser where you put tickets in, and it's kind of like, whoever gets you pay $10 for tickets and you put them in different things, and then they draw. And so my name was drawn for a whole giant stack of Kappa Delta Pi pencils, to which I donated to the Kappa Delta Pi teacher baskets last year. But yes, I think Mara won some earrings. So there's a variety of things that are won, some for your classroom, some that are a little bit more personal. But so you sort of have all of that happening in addition to some of these other things that are going on. So I just included that picture because she was really working very hard to win a conference fee paid for. So, and then here's some things. Here we are at Southwest flying out. We're standing in front of an important building. Here's some more walking around and just enjoying more of the social aspect of going to a conference. And I think that's my last picture. Nope, here's some more. Again, the whole mannequin thing, it was challenges going on and lots of other stuff happens. But I think Theo really alluded to this well, is that you make connections with students and other Kappa Delta Pi chapters, not only nationally, but internationally, as we had usually the chapters in the last 2 years that I've been, the chapters from Africa seem to have been able to come. And that's been always really an exciting thing to have that opportunity. So this is to encourage all of you to be hopefully tentatively planning. So what we will do, again, the assumption is COVID will be behind us next year. So in the spring, we'll have better information. We'll do some call out sessions. Hey, come to this Zoom meeting. We're going to, talk about this, see who's interested. And then over the summer, that group of people we have to do a proposal to the travel committee on campus. So that has to happen, and that all has to happen by the end of August. So we really need to start this year planning for next year because of how the timetables move. And then hopefully we will be loading up a van, maybe 2 vans, driving over to Columbus, Ohio. And I think everyone will be celebratory for a variety of reasons to be able to be together.
Yeah, I should say that location matters too, because like what Dr. Parnin is saying, like how many people have been able to go. Last year when we went, since it was in Virginia and we took a plane, it really couldn't take that many people. So that's why there was only a couple of us. But the year before it was in Indianapolis. So I think a lot more people got to go too. And so if it's in Columbus next year, I'm hoping that means that we can have some more people come to that one.
I don't hear anyone.
Okay, we're still here. Ignore my boxes. I'm moving soon, but Kayla just froze. But
okay.
We're still on.
Well, I was just saying that sometimes because it's going to be closer next year, that maybe we can get more people to come. Because I know that when we went to Indy the year before, we had a lot more people, but because we were on a plane last year, we couldn't really take that many people because it's very expensive.
Yeah, we had about 13 people at Indy, and then we had 6 or 7 to Norfolk. And some of that was because of the time commitment, because they added a little bit more time. Generally, the convo goes from Thursday to Saturday, but with travel time, it was Wednesday through Sunday. But, so hopefully put that on your. Usually happens late October, early November. When we have the dates, we'll share that out with you.
So I just have this mental health check-in where you guys can write in the chat bar how you've been feeling lately about your classes, maybe just your mental health, because it does matter. And we are in COVID times, which has made it matter even more. And we do have resources available. Excuse me, you have the health clinic that you can go to. We do offer counseling at PFW, so there's definitely resources to help you out. I know a lot of people have talked about that this semester, just at least personally in my experience, people have mentioned to me that this semester has really taken a toll on them, and it's been a hard semester because of COVID and because of everything going on. So.
Or if people have ideas how we could just connect as a chapter, and help each other, feel free to put it in the chat or send me an email or Kayla or somebody.
Yeah.
Can I do a commercial? So commercial, here we go. Commercials. Oh, you already have commercials up here. I was just gonna talk, well, when we get to committees, then I have some commercials.
Okay, I was just, since it is a meeting, I added some meeting business to the end of it. So I just wanted you guys to know kind of a check-in of what's been going on in our chapter. So we do have voting starting tomorrow. We're going to send out a voting survey for you guys to fill out for voting for our new officers. So that's really exciting. And the Constitution, so you guys voted on the Constitution. I wanted you to know what was happening with it. So we did get the votes to say most of the votes were positive about the changes. So all of the votes are going through for the changes of the Constitution. I had to send it to the student government of PFW, and we also had to send it to our regional coordinator, which is Thomas Allmet. He's connected to the National KDP organization, and they are updating our Constitution for us. I think the student government votes on it first, and then they are able to talk to us about it. So I'm waiting on hearing back from them for it. So those are going through. We do have a new positive change. So we're changing our financial situation for student orgs. We're moving to a new system called COOL, which is an acronym that I can't remember what it stands for, something online. Essentially, if you are unfamiliar, we have had to send everything that we've been able to do financially, like if we're paying for things for, like if right now we've been talking about pie, if I paid for pie for everybody, if we came together, I would have to pay out of pocket and then wait to get reimbursed from the school, from the student org. And this is moving away from that. And we also haven't been able to accept credit card payments for fundraisers, which has been really challenging, especially during COVID. And so now we're moving to this new system that we will be able to eventually. So we're still coming out in steps of it, but it's moving towards a positive change. So that's a really exciting news going on. We also have committees. So Dr. Parnin, do you want to run your?
Mike, yes, here's my commercial. So tomorrow night at 8 o'clock, we're having a membership meeting. So any of you who would like to join us, and I will have someone send out that reminder with a link, but I would love to have you come. So we will be talking about, so the membership committee works on the graduation celebration. We have 7 people graduating out of our chapter in December. So we need to figure out how to celebrate them. How do we do this as we're COVID, and you can fill in all the blanks. We have lots to figure out. So we'll be doing at that committee. We also plan the induction ceremony. And so we need to start thinking about the January induction. So as you were all part of the September induction, we did a lot of learning. So now we've had some learning we can continue to polish and to maybe add. So would really appreciate anybody's thoughts, helps. And if you're like, hey, I can't put any more on, but I can come and give you ideas, you are just the person to come. So don't feel like if you show up, we're going to say, ha, 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 you've come. So we're going to ask you to do all these things, but rather come, chat, share, add ideas, and then we'll take it forward. So tomorrow, so tomorrow is the 12th, and then Monday on the 16th, there are 2 more committee meetings happening. Fundraising is happening at 6:30, and then at 8 o'clock, there's another meeting. I forget. There's another meeting at 8. So, oh, I know, letter writing. The letter writing committee is meeting at 8 o'clock. So on Monday. So links will go out to that, and then we invite you to join the letter writing committee as well. And it's a new committee, so we're going to brainstorm roles and ideas for that. So there you go.
So we're excited about these committees. We're excited that you guys are going to be able to, to really have a strong voice in our chapter, because we really think that, your voice matters to us and your opinions matter to us. So we're really excited about these committees starting for you guys. Speaking of fundraiser, we did talk about fundraiser meeting coming up, but we do have a fundraiser coming up. It's going to be Mud Love bracelets. I don't know if you guys are super familiar with Mud Love. It's a company out of Muncie in Indiana, and they make these bracelets that are like wooden clay. They're clay. That's what they are.
They're clay. Do you still have that link that Mara sent us?
I have a picture of what it looks like. If you want me to just show.
I think that might be really helpful.
So we're going to sell these bracelets for 1 month's time, and we're really excited about them because we're working with a local vendor, and I have a hard time talking. And
I know I do too. It's like chewing gum and walking.
you know what? I bet it's here. I know where it is. It's under KDP, obviously KDP. And we are under fundraising. Okay. So I don't know if you can see this, but let me not click that. That'd be good. And move this again. But we are going to sell these. We're going to get 50% of the profits. These are the designs that we have right now. I'll move this over. You can pick any color that you want for the bands.
Can't see them. Can't see them.
You can't see.
Can't see your screen. Or at least that screen.
That's weird. So some screen sharing.
Your screen sharing the Chrome window specifically.
Okay. Maybe I have to unshare and then reshare. Probably. That sounds right. Now, can we see?
Yeah.
Okay, great. So these are the 3 designs we chose, and you can change the color of the bracelet when you purchase it. It doesn't affect the price. They are $18 a piece, and we receive 50% of those profits. And I believe when you purchase the bands, also part of the portion of the money goes to clean water for a week. So that's also another incentive to purchase. So we have the one that says, I support educators. We have hashtag Teacher Life, and then we have just Mastodons. And it's going to be open for 1 month. So I'm going to stop sharing now. So it's going to be open for 1 month. So it starts on the 15th, and then it ends on December 15th. And so we are really excited, and I hope you guys are excited about that, and would love to refer your friends or your family if you'd like that. Okay, I should probably go back to them. It's pretty much it on that, but I do have the last slide that has our social media on it. So in case you are not following us on social media, you can. So we have the QR codes listed there for you guys if you would like to follow us on Facebook, our Purdue Fort Wayne web page, YouTube, and Instagram.